Planning a corporate event is more like conducting a formal meeting in a fancy way. Corporate events usually allow firms to share their strategies and connect with the stakeholders. That is why you need to protect the face of the firm and be very careful about the little things. So, are you ready for a complete guide on corporate event planning? Yeah, you look ready. Let's go. So what are corporate events? Corporate events bring together board members, employees, potential clients, customers, and other stakeholders to reward, educate, motivate employees, and celebrate achievements. The events serve as a platform to strengthen your connections with the stakeholders and make your upcoming corporate calendar known to all of the stakeholders. Corporate events can take many forms, from corporate meetups to massive expos and trade shows, where the firms can bring their new products into the limelight and draw in potential customers. Here are some common corporate events that are celebrated in the business world. First, we have conferences and seminars. These are mediums for conducting professional talk sessions. Here you can introduce your brand and create awareness about your vision and mission among the masses. If you are silver-tongued, you can sail deeper into the hearts of your potential customers and earn their endorsement for your product. So, what all can you do with conferences and seminars? Well, first, you can engage the audience through intriguing visuals. Seminars and conferences may deploy presentations that use colors like red and blue, which attract the eyes and are noticeable. You can also use the platform to create awareness about issues your product resolves. For instance, if your brand sells masks, you can shed light on the importance of wearing masks and the havoc it may produce if one does not wear one. Furthermore, you can enhance your brand image by putting forth the facts and figures regarding your annual sales and profit. Such figures can impress the ones who might not initially be fans of your brand. These figures might convince them to give your product a try. Next, trade shows and expos. You must have heard of the World Expos held in Dubai, or plenty of other famous expos in whatever geographical confine that you reside in. Trade shows or expos are forums where different brands from a common industry can showcase their products to many audiences using their trade show apps. Furthermore, expos can be a golden chance for many corporate firms to create a market space for their products in multiple nations. Here, your target customers from different nations will find you. Okay, now we're on to meetings and conventions. Business meetings might be scheduled with staff members to assess their productivity and assign them projects and duties. You could discuss technical details and get majority approval for a particular project. Here is how meetings and conventions can play their role as a crucial corporate event. In executive meetings, a team of corporate executives is present. They exchange fresh information on current business trends and share opinions about financial targets and new marketing strategies. Some companies arrange business meetings to create buzz and exposure by launching something new into the market. Coming in at number 4, incentive programs. An employee working on loops on the same projects for weeks is bound to be exhausted. In a corporate setting, you must arrange programs that boost the morale of your employees. One of the best things you can do for your employees is arrange incentive programs. Examples include announcing promotions, monetary bonuses, salary raises, and referral bonuses in front of their colleagues to boost their confidence. You can also offer your employees incentives that give them a sense of achievement, and it might encourage them to work even harder. Next is a fun one. Team building activities. You must be tired of your HR asking you for activities like playing games. However, these activities can do more than you think, and they can influence your corporate event. I suggest you enthusiastically participate as much as you can, because these activities can help you rewind and refresh your fatigued mind, and they're good because they involve parts that are psychologically proven to be effective for mood enhancement. Furthermore, such activities bring uniformity to a team and help make decision-making easier within the team. All right, so let's talk about the significance of corporate events. Business is all about marketing a product and connecting with the masses to boost sales. There are many ways marketing can be done, including corporate events. However, one cannot cater to marketing goals, customer expectations, and employees' needs through a single corporate event. Hence, there are different corporate events for different purposes. For instance, to rewind a burnt-out team, you may need to treat your employees to a fancy lunch, or to educate your target customers, you can arrange seminars or public talks. Corporate events can serve as a solution to many of the corporate problems. For example, if your team is lacking productivity and motivation, you can give them a push to their productivity by arranging an incentive program. Telling them to think outside of the box may not work as much as a small incentive program would. Who knows? These motivated employees may just develop groundbreaking ideas that can escalate your sales like nothing else. In addition to this, if your sales are lagging, you can participate in expos or seminars where you can get your customers a deeper insight into your product and your mission. For instance, if your firm is pursuing eco-friendly manufacturing, you can involve environmental activists and promote your brand by focusing your marketing on that aspect. Corporate events play a substantial role in a variety of aspects of business, so let's go through them. First, we have marketing. Corporate events can be a way to draw audiences from different backgrounds and introduce them to your brand. You can use corporate events like expos, conferences, and trade shows as a platform to spread the word about your brand. You can perform simulations related to your product and earn the trust of your potential customers. Showcase the feedback of your customers at expos and other corporate events to hook the bystanders. Deploy different marketing schemes like using background colors that stand out to grab attention and be relatable to your customers by targeting their pain points. After grabbing attention and targeting the pain points, introduce your brand as a solution at the corporate event. Next, we have brand building. An established business faces tough competition from its rival brands. To outclass your rivals in a competitive market is not a piece of cake. You need to build your image through strategizing, which includes arranging corporate events. Here is how corporate events may help you build a brand image. It can connect you with the people that will enhance your brand awareness. You can draw more customers through word of mouth via the event attendees. And you can showcase your products and share your objectives with the masses through one-on-one interaction. Next, lead generation. If your marketing and branding are strong, you can easily hunt many leads at an event. Corporate events provide an atmosphere where the audience already has their minds prepared for interaction and building connections. You can grab the opportunity and get yourself even more customers. Furthermore, you can draw more sponsors through this interactive session. You may also get the opportunity to collaborate with big brands. And if you have introduced any product for sale, you may get MOU offers from different production, advertising, and commercial brands. You will get a plethora of options to select from for commercial alliances. Plus, events create a conducive environment for networking, fostering professional connections that can reap partnerships and collaborations. Finally, let's talk about building a lasting impact. In an era where people forget things with a swipe, business depends on longer relationships. You need to earn your customers' long-lasting trust to keep them buying your product. For that, you must build an everlasting impact on the customers through your advertising and impressive slogans. Furthermore, you can build a lasting impact through frequent corporate events that bring stakeholders and customers together for an interactive session. Corporate events can be our chance to build a lasting impact on the attendees by aptly marketing your brand. You can also honestly share your product's pros and cons to develop a trusting relationship with potential customers. And once you have built that trusted relationship, the shortcomings of your product will be overlooked by those who trust you and your brand. All right, let's talk employee engagement. Corporate events boost employees' passion, devotion, and inspiration toward their company when they work on a project with collaboration and conclude it successfully. In particular, when ceremonies are organized to appreciate the efforts of staff, they get motivation and positive energy, which helps them excel in their profession and make your company all the better. You can motivate your employees by acknowledging their efforts. You can also award them with a formal gift as an encouragement. Also, you can boost your employees' motivation by celebrating the year's achievements. Moving on, relationships with clients. Corporate events serve as a forum for companies to deepen their bond with their loyal customers, coworkers, and investors. Corporate events like in-person meetings at events can strengthen trust and confidence. Corporate events can sometimes serve as a formal place to develop informal stakeholder relations. Be a good listener to your clients and build a relationship that tops the professional ones. Share your personal interests with the clients and invite them to play golf or maybe table tennis. Even if you're unable to connect with the clients on a personal level, you can still be their corporate friend by sharing the corporate benefits with them and committing to mutual interest. All right, market research. Companies have a chance to practically experience the market in a corporate event. You can sell both your products and services at discounted prices and record the feedback and responses from your customers after they have used your product. When you step into a corporate expo or trade show, you get hands-on experience in the market. By interacting with the masses, you understand the current needs and expectations of the customers. You get a deeper insight into the market. You get to know what your competitors are doing and which of their business strategies are reaping their profits. That way, you can polish your business mantra and align it with the current trends. Next, product launch success. Both startup companies and reputable brands organize expos, workshops, and launching ceremonies to introduce their new products in the market. You can do this using corporate events. Here is how corporate events can help you make your product launch a success. Corporate events create a fancy image of your business among the audience. Social media coverage of these events only amplifies that image. If your product gets an optimistic response from users at the event, it shows a great probability that it is going to rock in the corporate sector. Next, CSR and social impact. Many companies sponsor or arrange events for social causes. Such events often get more publicity and hence are more supported by the public. When you are considerate about local issues like poverty, illiteracy, or inaccessible clean water, the customers are more welcoming to your brand. The support becomes mutual and stronger, and you become the pride of your local customers as well. All right, let's talk steps. First, set your goals and objectives. Identify your objectives and goals for the corporate event. If you want to lighten up the mood and create a friendly environment at your firm, you can arrange a relevant event. If you want an event to market your product, you can arrange a trade show. Next, you're going to want to create a budget. Make sure that budget is planned wisely and a suitable sum is dedicated to each expense of the event. You must target a budget plan that does not surpass your allocated funds, and make sure to choose services like concierge services, venue, and catering services that are affordable for you. Next, make sure you create a good team. Bring together a team that are experts in different departments. For instance, hire a creative team for the decor and layout for the event. Furthermore, hire a technical team that deals with the technical details of sound and visuals in the event. Those can always get dicey. Likewise, you should have a team for stage management who make sure the program timeline is followed precisely and the stage performers, like speakers, are backstage right before their performance. Next, pick your date and time carefully. When you're choosing the date and time of an event, don't forget that your guests can have a tight schedule. Arrange a date and a time that is suitable for all chief guests and common guests. For instance, you can arrange an event on weekdays after office hours, or you can select a date for a public holiday. If there's a long weekend expected in the coming months, that's a great time as well. Next, select that venue. The venue of your event should be accessible for the guests and should be a place where your guests can seek facilities like shopping, Wi-Fi, and medical aid. The hall, or whatever space you choose, must be large and wide enough to accommodate all of your guests comfortably. The venue pricing must also be reasonable to keep the budget in check. Now you're going to want to develop a guest list. Prepare the list of all guests whose presence is important to this event. Your guest list can involve business tycoons, renowned faces, and speakers who are experts at entertaining audiences. After finalizing the list, mail invitations to all the guests with the exact date, time, and venue. Share your chief guest list on social media to advertise your event and attract more incomers. Moving on, create event logistics. Arrange all activities within a fixed time and create an intricate flow chart of things to do before, during, and after the program. Be clear about when and how you will reach the event location and how you will receive guests and entertain them. Create an organized timeline for the event that includes introduction, motivational speeches, refreshment time sessions, etc. Plan the post-event feedback process precisely. Next, get approval and authorization. Make sure that all activities related to your event comply with local and state laws. If any certification is required, like a permit for the venue, getting them is your first priority. All right, now you're going to want to develop a marketing and promotion plan. To promote your brand, you need to conduct a solid promotional campaign on different social media platforms. Share the advertisement on all of the platforms. Draw the attention of the public by offering enticing activities like gaming, reward winnings, discounts on brands, entertainment activities, and the like. Next, make sure you have your technology and AV requirements set up. The speakers and presenters can convey their words only when tools like mouthpieces or microphones, screens, projectors, etc. work just right. Make sure all the technical tools are functional before the event starts. Make sure that none of the tools are out of order, and don't ignore even minor glitches to avoid awkward situations. We have all seen those. We have all been there. Many of us have experienced them. It's not fun. Tech issues must be addressed before you start. Finally, collect feedback. Ask the attendees about how the event was and what aspects you need to improve on. If most of the crowd gives positive feedback, congratulations, you nailed it. Moreover, focus on the suggestions and customers' interests to revamp your business game and have more successful events in the future. All right, so while inviting guests can seem like a pretty easy job, it can turn out to be a very hectic one. Inviting the guests, following the formalities, and aligning with their complicated schedules can really be a mind-boggling job to do. Here is a breakdown of the invitation process you should follow. Start by narrowing down your guest list. It must consist of investors, clients, business partners, and speakers. Design a guest list that is relevant to your program. Create professional invites and designs that are the anecdote of the theme and the aura of your event. You must mention the venue with the address, date, and time. After formally inviting the VIP guests, keep sending them reminder memos via text message, WhatsApp messages, phone calls, and emails. Be formally available for the guests and give them special treatment. Offer full protocol to the chief guests of your event. Provide exclusive access, personal transportation, or specialized concierge services. All right, let's move on to the entertainment at your event. First of all, you need to understand your audience. You can entertain your guests aptly only when you target their interests. Make sure that the entertainment activities resonate with their interests and are relatable. Pitch your product to the audiences in a subtle way, keeping in mind their interests. Since you are investing in entertainment, it's better to invest in interactive recreational activities. For example, you can arrange fun activities like games, engaging displays, and selfie studios. Schedule the entertainment session either at the start or end of the event. That way, you will be able to avoid any distractions and keep your attendees focused on the corporate event itself. Also, don't mix entertainment activities with business discussions. You should keep them scheduled at separate times, as doing otherwise might affect the objectives and the goals of your event. Your entertainment activities should also not be insensitive to different cultures. Hence, take cultural variations into consideration. Otherwise, you may hurt the feelings of some of the guests. Ensure that the entertainment is inclusive and considerate to people from every culture. All right, a question on a lot of people's minds is how to effectively use concierge services for investor meetings. Good hospitality always wins the hearts of guests. When you are hosting investors, use the event concierge services efficiently. This may alleviate your brand image and impress your investors. Here are some tips for using concierge services during investor meetings in an efficient manner. Understand your investor preferences. Do proper research about your investors and understand the likes and dislikes of them so that you can target their business priorities while presenting your ideas or products. Look into their goals and objectives and find a way to correlate your idea with their business ideology. Prepare a speech that would hit the investors and help them understand how your idea could be fruitful for them. Now that you know what the investors like, you can guide the concierge to arrange a stay, travel, and other needs according to your investors' preferences. Inform your concierge about the outline of the program, like where the meetings will be held, the agenda, the timetable, and all the relevant details. As a result, you can avoid any confusion and mismanagement and not waste anyone's time. Transportation is another important thing. You want to think about airport transfers. Make sure you arrange for a professional chauffeur to receive the investors at the airport. You might also think about private car services. A luxurious car waiting for the investors to pick up and drop them off for the meetings will make them feel valued and honored even. Also, there are local transportation options too. Your concierge should be well aware of any local transport as well as any case of emergency. You'll want to select premium accommodations. Research what type of accommodations your investors prefer and share this info with your concierge. Details like these are essential to impressing investors. You also want to think about special requests. Think about the amenities that the investors would like. It may be a personalized note, a gift, or a bouquet of flowers. Communicate these special requests to the concierge on time so they have time to prepare. You might want to think about reservation assistance. Have your concierge make reservations at a fancy bar or restaurant to hold the dinners and business meetings. You must be mindful of any food allergies or diet restrictions that the guests might have, so picking a restaurant with lots of options can be very helpful. You can also arrange your own private events to get close to the investors and have a more personalized and exclusive experience. It can also help in building relationships and allow you to have a more focused dialogue. Arrange private events or dinners for a more personalized and intimate setting. The concierge can also help with on-site support, like meeting room logistics. The meeting room must be prepared a day before the meeting. Inform the concierge in advance about the place where the meeting is going to be held. You should double-check all the technical details like screens, projectors, speakers, and microphones as well. Sounding like a broken record, I'm saying it again, but it is important. Also, during the meeting, the concierge must be present. It is necessary to cope with any unexpected situations or a sudden requirement. After the investor meeting ends, arrange for follow-up services such as transportation back to the airport or any additional assistance that they might need. Get a feedback note from investors about their experience with the concierge service. Use this information to improve and tailor services for future meetings. By integrating concierge services effectively into the planning and execution of investor meetings, you can create a seamless and positive experience, demonstrating your commitment to professionalism and attention to detail. Now let's talk post-event marketing. You want to do follow-up campaigns. After the event, companies can leverage the gathered leads for targeted marketing campaigns. Follow-up emails, newsletters, and personalized communication can generate leads and move them through the marketing process. Additionally, content creation. Content generated during events such as presentations, interviews, or panel discussions can be repurposed for advertising to extend reach beyond the event itself. While arranging or planning a corporate event, there are some do's and don'ts that you always must consider to conduct a successful event. Here are a few that I have for you. Let's start with the do's. Starting off, you should set some goals and objectives for your event. These goals will help you to plan and execute certain things that will turn your corporate event into a success. Allocate enough chunks of your funds for different expenses of the event and plan the expenditure wisely. Your budget plan should cover the nitty-gritty of the company event planning. Trust me on this one. To book the desired spot for your event, you must book the venue ahead of time. Booking the venue early will help you get the location that suits your event and is available on your desired dates. Make sure you assemble your team. Inform all team members about the intricate details of your event plan and explain everything to avoid any unsolicited incidents. Select your vendors carefully. Be picky about who you choose and consider their reliability, reputation, and ability to meet your event's requirements. You can also consult your corporate clients for suggestions and add vendors related to their business. Make sure to use the technology wisely. I know, I'm saying it again. You want to make a good event experience and you need the technology to work. For instance, you can use online software for event management and planning to avoid any inconvenience. Set reasonable deadlines. You must have a timeline that sorts different activities in pre-event, on-site, and post-event categories. I recommend assigning a deadline to each task and strictly following your timeline. To market your product, you need to draw as many attendees as possible. To attract more attendees, you must spread the word about the event on all of your social media platforms. You also want to make sure you communicate. Put out important event details and updates to the people in a way that is vivid and easy to understand. You want to keep your attendees engaged. You can do so by planning engaging and interesting activities and sessions. And lastly, post-event evaluation. Feedback plays a crucial role in your redemption and growth. Hence, conduct a post-event evaluation survey regarding the highlights and shortcomings of the event. Now, the dreaded don'ts. These are the things to avoid. Number 1. Compromising comfort. You must be very precise and vigilant to ensure attendees' comfort, from seating arrangements to accessible facilities and climate control. Never compromise on comfort. Very important. Next, 11th hour planning. You should plan the event beforehand. That way you will be able to cover the loopholes and look for replacements in case of emergencies. For instance, if your chief guest is busy on particular dates, you can either change the date of the event or find another guest. Trust me, you don't want to be trying to do all this stuff at the last minute. Never neglect the potential risks and be prepared. If you need a plan B, have a plan B, just in case there's any unforeseen risk. Next, don't ignore the laws. You must never ignore the documentation and necessary permits that comply with local and state laws. It can cause you significant damage. Make sure you've got a professional staff. Corporate event management is teamwork, and it won't work if your team isn't efficient. Avoid staffing unprofessional people. Don't overlook crowd management. You should be prepared for orderly registration and disciplined seating arrangements for the attendees. For instance, you would never want to keep your guests waiting in long registration lines. Consider using an event registration system to help ease that burden. And finally, you guessed it, technological glitches. Test your audio, test your visual. Make sure that everything is set up before the event starts. Take it from me, you do not want your speakers or mic falling or cutting out in the middle of a speech. It does not look good. Well, you made it to the end. Congratulations. You are now ready to plan your corporate event. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more insightful videos.